right, we are live. So let me quick share this. All right. Got it shared to the story on Insta, and we are ready to go here. Good stuff. All right. If you guys got any questions, leave them in the chat. I'm just going to be doing some reverse sourcing. Found this, didn't really find a method, but I have this interesting method that I'm going to go over. So, something new I haven't really talked about on social media yet. So, kind of a cool thing. But came right on time. How's it going, hey Christian? Corey, how's it going, Corey? Drop some banger asins. Oh, maybe I will. If you stay till the end, maybe. All right, good to see some people in here. All right, we got some people. Let's jump right in. Share my screen quick, and then we're gonna go do some sourcing. Okay, sharing it. Yeah. So what I've been sourcing with, it's kind of like an interesting. How's it going, Rostislav Janov? Thanks for showing up here. Just going to do some reverse sourcing. Again, I found this little like tweak to my sourcing that actually helped me find some good products. So I'm going to actually show that here. It's kind of the first time showing this on social media, so kind of cool to be able to do it live for you guys. So when you normally reverse source, actually, when I reverse source normally, I'm just looking for uh, you know, a specific brand that I can use as a starting point, and then we're looking at these sellers on that listing, and then reverse sourcing their stores. One thing we can do on top of that, so I'm going to just search like a Nike, something really simple, right? We're going to look for just something that's a decent rank here. So this one's super high. I mean, any of these will work. So let's just open up this one here. And again, Nike maybe isn't the best example, but here's my thought with Nike, right? A ton of people have Nike listings. A lot of people, I mean, it's not super hard to find Nike profitable, at least at some point, right? Like Nike.com runs a 25% off on their clearance. Well, their clearance is already how much discounted. You get that 25% off. It's like basically auto applied to your cart when you go to check out. They like label the discount right below, so you can just click to add. So it's not hard for people to find Nike at a cheap price, which then causes the sellers to spike, and then the price just tanks. That happens like basically to most Nike products. Not all. There's definitely some good ones out there, but a lot of it happens to there. So my thought is we can get in front of a lot of sellers that if they're buying the Nike stuff, it's real easy to find. So what other products do they have that's not Nike? Maybe that was like a good lead that someone sent them, right? Because if they're not, not saying that everyone that sells Nike is bad at sourcing, but maybe they have some sort of just, if they have all Nike and then a couple of other brands, maybe we can utilize that to look at what other brands they have. And, chances are if they're finding any good Nike things, maybe some of their other brands are worth looking into. So that is actually what we're going to do here. So we're just going to look at, again, I just have a random listing. We're going to look at the sellers on this. And then we're just going to take a look at, like say this one, for example, we're just going to take a look at their, maybe the categories that aren't clothing and shoes. So this one's like, this person sells basically all Nike. So it's not a great example, but I'll just look at this just in case. So some of their clothing item is the sports category. So we're not going to use this storefront because they sell only Nike, which isn't super diversified. You can definitely do that. Dick's Sporting Goods Surplus. Nice storefront name. I'm assuming they have a lot of Nike as well. Yeah. but they do have other, other items here. So what's interesting is like a lot of people will look at these storefronts when sourcing, especially the people that do a lot of clothing. And then, they're just like only looking at like, oh, they're going to sort by Nike because that's like basically what what a lot of people have talked about. So all we're doing is, they're just looking through all the Nike stuff and then they maybe skip the rest of the things. But what I've been doing is, right, I'm looking at like, I'll start at the bottom and I'll work my way up. I'll sort by the category, which is interesting. And we'll do clothing last. And we might not even look at the clothing, right? I'm not super focused on looking through a bunch of Nike listings that are all like lower than they used to be, right? Like this, some people are selling this for even here like 55. It's all the way down to like 45. This one, huge tank, $30 all the way down to 24. So we don't want to look at a bunch of those products, but we do want to look at the other products that they sell because we just don't know. Maybe they found some good products. Maybe they had someone send them a good listing. If they're only selling Nike, right? There's a lot of people that sell Nike, so it could be people that are in a group that maybe found a couple other. Someone sent a solid lead to them that's not Nike. So hopefully we're going to look and find some of those products that's not Nike. And then, Nike's just one of them, but you could look at most Bolo products and then look at, obviously they're going to have like a lot of the Nike sellers have a lot of Stanleys in their inventory or like, Rare Beauty or whatever it is. But sometimes they'll have those other, a couple other products or brands that you can say, oh, look at that. That's actually a pretty solid brand. And if they're finding some bolos, maybe there's a bolo in that brand too that you could, pick up and find pretty profitably. So again, we're just going to sort by the categories here. We're going to go bottom up just so we can get through these low level products. And then the ones like obviously sports and outdoor, there's a few more. Sometimes, I was looking through a storefront yesterday that was like, automotive, they had, 7 or 8, and then, patio and lawn and garden, they had 7 or 8. And I found one lead in each of those. And I only looked through 15 products. So when you find the right storefront that has some of those hidden leads that you're not normally thinking of using or looking through, you might find some luck here. So we got Dymo, looks like a pretty fast moving product. The office products category, we got to remember that like 1K rank isn't as good as like 1K rank in clothing, but definitely 1K rank in any category is going to be decent. So let's take a look. Let's open the Amazon page up, and then whose store is that? I don't know. I just picked a random store, DSG Surplus. Don't know who that is. Just looking at it for ideas here. So we can see this is variation listing. So real quickly go through the variations, make sure that we have the best selling one, because just because the storefront has this variation doesn't mean that they picked the best one, but it looks like they did pick the best one, the $40 buy box price, just the machine. There's no tape included or anything like that. And this one sells tons of reviews. Okay, so this one it definitely sells well, and it's been listed for a long time. So the reviews are wild on this one, 82% of the sales. So we just need to find it for under $20. You can see that this company here, if you guys have Capital One Shopping, has a pop-up. Normally it's showing like eBay listings here, but anyway, we'll go to Google, see if we can get it for under $20. Might be pretty tough. Also, they have it at 35. Okay, so the buy box is actually like 35. I don't know why it showed it at 40 here. I don't know. Let's just take a look at who's selling this, and maybe that'll give us a clue here. So FBA 36, a lot in stock at 38. But some FBM seller has, oh, this is like a big, oh, it's like Staples. Okay, so they're gonna probably get the buy box a decent amount if I were to guess. So that 35.81 probably gonna be the price we're gonna have to sell at to get some sales. But let's just see. We got Webster on store, always a good store or a good place to source from if you haven't. Shipping's a little bit high for them, but office supplies 42, 34. I don't know. I don't think we're going to find it for, like I said, I don't think we're going to find it for $20 or even cheaper, but it's a good starting point. So we'll skip this one, go to the next. Home and kitchen. So they only have one, but sometimes they have more. Always click the load more because it's sometimes Seller Amp just doesn't quite show you everything. The stash one, obviously going to avoid. Amazon's on it, but even if FBA sellers are getting it for higher, we're not getting it for negative costs. So Nike water bottle here. This is a sports category. Yeah, sometimes, like I said, it glitches. It doesn't do just home and kitchen. It throws other things in there. Here's some unknown categories. Interesting. It's beauty, toys, toys. We're just going to skip that and actually look at the beauty ones. So we have the ordinary. It looks like a pretty flat price, which is interesting. So, but the max cost is going to be really tough here. Let's just look into it. Why not? The price looks good. Any back to school tips? I'm not specifically buying like seasonal back to school stuff yet, but you just want to think what products, are people buying back to school. It's not just the school supplies, it's not just the shoes. I mean, there's going to be basically all clothing for kids, anything kid related. Definitely the school supplies will work, but think like calculators, think like the notebooks and the folders are so cheap at the stores. And like, are people really going to buy, you know, a spread of 5 folders for $20 when you can get them for like 50 cents at a Target or Walmart? So for that, I don't really, I'm not really focused on that. But you think of the school supplies that maybe has a little bit more weight to it, like the calculators are a little bit more expensive, and people are buying calculators like crazy during that time. And it's not just kids back to school either. I mean, it's like college. What things do people bring to college? So there could be like cooking utensils, maybe like kids are bringing that to college, maybe like small furniture pieces. Again, you're going to see a lot of those products go on sale around that time. So if you really don't know, definitely do some research. Like look at the products. Like you can just maybe even go, and if you want to stick to stuff, like clothing and shoes and maybe some school supplies, like look at the Keep It charts from last summer, see what they did, and maybe that'll give you a better sense of like when things start to pick up. Do prices increase a ton, or do sellers drop off, or how do you stay in stock more? So definitely doesn't hurt to start researching. I haven't been actually buying for back to school quite yet. Definitely won't be merch fulfilling quite yet either. Probably start that like end of July, early August. But this product here, Ordinary, it's a good brand. 800 rank, really good, sells super quick. Can we get it for $5? That's going to be the question here. Apparently, some of these people have gotten it cheap, or at least cheap enough. Let's see, did it tank in the past? Not really. What was that 16 at one point? Got all the way down to 12 something. Now we're back up to 15. Hopefully the sellers stay pretty low. We can see that the price does drop a little bit when the offer count goes up. So maybe we'll be able to find it cheap here. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so the Ordinary site sells it for $8.90. We need it for half that. So unless they're running a 50% off sale, which doesn't hurt to check certain things. Let's see, we got 1% retinol. That is not the same product. This is 1% retinol, Cult Beauty. Kohl's, different product. Is this the same Plant Drive? Maybe it's the same one, actually. We'll see. They got it for $5.10. Let's see. Plant derived. It doesn't feel like it's the same product, but I guess I don't really know until we look into it. Retinol 1% and squalene. So it's not quite the same one. This is plant-based. Said something about plant-based. So we're not going to find it cheap enough there on their own website, right? Sometimes maybe they'll run like a 20 or 30% off or 25% off. Certain like brand specific websites will do that. Looks like still it's almost $9 here. We can't get it cheap enough there, but let's just scroll and look a little bit further here. Buy 300 of them and get $50 off. That's looks like a wholesale deal maybe. Ulta, no, not the same product, not the same product. So yeah, if we can't find the exact product here, obviously we're not going to look too much into that. We can also sometimes, just looking at this top here isn't the most like it just doesn't have everything. Like the Ordinary's here, but I was looking at let's say like Clinique has some sale running right now, and I was looking at that, and their product didn't show up in these at all. Like I scrolled for how long, didn't see Clinique, but then you scroll, whoops. Then you scroll down here, and Clinique's like just below the sponsored, and then they have their site-wide sale running. So it's just weird. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to scroll and not just look through the top here, even though it's real nice and easy laid out for you. You see the store and the price and everything. But you just never know. Like Sephora, I didn't see Sephora up here really. So it doesn't hurt to look. And this is usually the correct product, but we can see the price too. It's listed in Canadian for some reason, but $8.90 at Skin Store. They run 20-30% off coupons, but again, that's not cheap enough. So we will move on to the next product here. See, Eduardo, how's it going? Thanks for joining, bro. Eduardo was one of my coaching students. Awesome dude, very motivated. Let's see. The other one here, that one's going to be way too cheap. 19 offers, but I mean, we can't get that for under $1, so we'll just go on to the next. So again, I'm just working my way up from the bottom. Health and household. That's what we saw those first two, but these next couple we didn't. Prices look pretty steady, but that might be tricky to hit here. Most beauty products you're not going to find. So on something like this, when it's like you just want to do a quick gut check, you don't want to have to look into the product, wait for things to load. I mean, that takes a while, right? You do that with every product, it's going to add up. So we see like a $3.40 buy cost. I'm not even going to open the Amazon page. I see this, the price is steady. The rank looks good. There's not a ton of offers, no buy box, but again, we're probably going to be selling this for like 12, 13 bucks, maybe 14, whatever. Max cost is going to be, below $4. So I'm just going to go right to Google here and not waste my time opening the Amazon page, letting that load, looking through Seller Amp, all that stuff. I'm just going to do a quick check. Can we even get this close to $4? If we can't, we're moving on to the next one. We're not going to waste a ton of time there. So $6.50 at Ulta, if we had basically we need like a 30% off discount for that to be profitable or even close to the profit mark here. Again, don't think we're going to get it cheap enough just because that $4 is like, it's not even $4. It's closer to $3 than it is $4. That's going to be so hard to do. But we do have a vitamin here. It looks like the price is really steady too. Rank is pretty solid, not a ton of sellers. So this is one where I'd open the Amazon page, want to take a look at some of the extra data. We see it's a variation listing. Those are the things we want to know when it's a product that, we're looking to be a little more serious about. Saul asks, are your replens found all the time at regular price, or do you have to wait on certain deals to combine with gift cards? I don't know if I even have one replenishable that isn't bought in with gift cards or discounts or some sort. So I'm not buying them regularly at full price, because if I'm finding it at full price, chances are someone else's VA is also going to find it at full price, which just means, that other people are going to buy it. The price is going to drop, offer count's going to go up, all that jazz. So when I have a replen, basically I'm watching how things sell, determining, I'm watching how it sells, and then, depending on how quickly it sells, maybe I want to rebuy it if the chart still looks good. If the keeper chart still is holding steady and everything like that, then maybe I'll go back and rebuy it. But if I can get it at the same price or even cheaper, then I'll do that. But if I buy something on a discount and they only run it like, once a month for a couple days, basically got to wait till the next month till they run that discount again to be able to get it at that cheap price. Because I'm not going to buy it, like if I used a 15% off to buy the product, and then I want to rebuy it 2 weeks later, but they don't have that 15%, even if it's still a little profitable, it might not be worth it, because if you're buying it at full price and there's a bunch of people that have bought on the sale and are just starting to sell, they have more room to go down before you can actually, before they break even. When you bought it 15% higher, now you have a higher break even, and then you're going to end up losing more money on that way. So yeah, my replens are almost always with some sort of discount. Bill Flipper in the house. Nice to see you, Bill. Maybe it's profitable, small and light. Yeah, that other one could have been a small and light product, definitely. The price is still going to be a little tricky. We would only gain like $1.50 maybe on the fees. So we still needed like a 30 to 40% off coupon. Do you have any coupon codes for Be Cool? I don't have a referral code yet, but I am working on getting one. So I should have an affiliate link, hopefully pretty soon here. So if you want to, hold off and use my code to support me, that'd be cool. But if not, Be Cool is great. I use it every day. Jan, when using Inventory Lab, is the recommended prep always correct? It's saying I should polybag, but you can't physically touch the product in the box. Yeah, it's not always correct. Basically, if it says polybag, it just wants you to, have some sort of protection on the product. So if it's like a toy, right, or a kid's product where, um, and if it is in a box too, like if it is a kid's product where they have like a touch here, or they have like a where you can sample the product, or there's a button you can push. A lot of times they want, even if it's in the box, but there's exposed parts of the toy, they want you to polybag that just so it doesn't get dirty or get scuffed or anything like that. But if the full product, right, if it's like a vitamin and the full product is in the box and there's no way for the cap to come off or anything like that, the box is totally fine. You don't have to polybag outside, put the polybag around the box. If the box is protective enough, that's going to work. Awesome, Saul. Glad that helped. All right, back to the sourcing here. So we got $15 max cost. Again, we'll just quick glance at the variations. This one looks really solid. It's pretty flat. There's a decent amount of sellers on there, not a crazy amount, but with the seller count also doesn't move around much, which is good. Also might mean it's a hard product to find, but we'll see. So we're looking at the 180 count, which is still getting 44% of the share. That's great to see. That's the 180 count. Again, 90 count's doing a little bit better. And we see the offer, the ratings going up pretty well, over the last 3 months. Something to look at here if you don't already, just to kind of get you an extra kind of like check on how quickly something is selling. Are their ratings going up over the last 3 months? And if it's not, is it in the last month too, right? Like sometimes you'll see on some listings that don't have a ton of ratings, right? If they have like 5, but it's 5 and then it goes 6, 7, 8, right, in the last like 3 weeks, then it's like, okay, people are reviewing this pretty recently. So maybe that variation is doing pretty well. Because, if the listing has been, like you can see on the Keep It chart here, it's been tracking for the last 3,000 days, this one 2,000 days. So if you think about it, this one already has 700 reviews and this one only has 900 reviews, but this one's been tracking the amount of reviews and ratings for over 1,000 days more, which is like 3 more years. So this one got added to the variation basically a couple years later. So the fact that it has, only a couple hundred reviews or ratings less, maybe tells you that this one sells fast. It just doesn't have the total amount of ratings to be ranked higher, right? That's how I look at that. But then I also like to see the ratings history here. We can see this one's been climbing pretty consistently, and this one's kind of it's gone up, but not as much, right? So anyway, just some things to look at. And then you also have the review here. We can see this one's still getting reviews. So maybe this one is moving pretty quickly right now. This one hasn't gotten a review in the last 3 months, but again, that doesn't mean it's not selling. So we're going to stick to our 180 count, $29. So we got to get it for 15. This one we'd have to get for like $5 or $6. So that's going to be tricky, but let's take a look at Google here. Jan, no problem. Glad I was clear there. Toxic gameplays. I hate this reverse crab. It sucks so bad, man. I've been at it for a week now. Found like 3 products after 5 hours a day of work. Yeah, it's it can be really annoying and like daunting, right? You're sitting here like doing the same thing over and over again. But if you seem to be looking at storefronts and none of them are good, maybe you need to start looking at different storefronts, right? So if you're looking at a bunch of storefronts that sell mostly Nike, like this storefront, normally it's like, okay, they sell a bunch of Nike. I'm not wanting to look at a ton of Nike stuff because I know what the Nike stuff is. And unless there's a major sale running, you're not going to find a lot of it profitable. But what other products do they have to offer, right? And like maybe in the automotive, we find one that looks decent. Maybe we can't even find it all that profitable, but it still looks decent, right? Well, let's like start looking at that lead instead and then reverse source off of that lead. So now maybe there's 8 sellers all selling other automotive products, and you're looking at their storefronts now. Now none of them have even one Nike product on there. And you're probably thinking, okay, now I'm in front of 10 other sellers that haven't sold one Nike product, or at least they don't have any in their catalog. They're only selling, tools and home improvement and automotive and home and kitchen. And now you're in front of all these new products that you've never seen before. And there's other websites you're going to find. And it's going to take some time to learn like what's good and what's not. But eventually, like you just want to get in front of new leads and different products, and the same storefronts you might have been looking at are all giving you the same dead end leads that aren't like you can't find profitable enough. So try that method. Maybe that will give you a little bit of a boost in like the amount of leads you're finding. Like I said, I'm doing the method I'm doing right now. They had like 7 automotive products and 9 patio, lawn, and garden, and I found one in patio, one in automotive, and 15 minutes, I found two decent leads, like where I spent close to $1,000 total in 15 minutes. So they are out there. You just got to get through, and then also getting through these as quick as possible. Hopefully, I know I'm going quick here, but hopefully my explanation on like what you're looking at here and how quickly you want to like analyze things helps you get through more products too. Because if you're, reverse sourcing for 5 hours and you're only getting through like 30 products an hour, then you need to speed up you need to learn how to get through products quicker. Because if you're not getting in front of enough products either, then just overall you're not going to get through, right? If you get through 30 products in an hour and I get through 100, those extra 70 products in that same hour we both sourced, I could find 2 leads in that 70 leads extra. So just a way of looking at things, and keep at it. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. Seller Amp's definitely like the best way to reverse source, but hopefully that gives you a little bit of a kind of a change in the way you source, and maybe that'll help you find more products. Yeah. Speed can be a big thing. If you're sitting analyzing every product, like if the Keepa chart looks crappy and there's a ton of offers and that max cost, if you start looking at enough products, you're going to see like, all right, a pretty like decent brand of like makeup and skincare, $4, that's gonna be really tough. Like if I'm looking at that on my own and not, on live here, probably like skipping over some of these, like 73 cents. Like why even look into that? Even if the chart like maybe looks decent, right? 73 cents, we're not finding any product besides like dollar store items for 70 cents. And this product is not at the dollar store. So some of that intuition you just use and you learn over time once you see these products over and over again. And then that's going to help you increase your speed as well. So let me take a sip quick. That was a monologue there. All right. Let's see here. Scroll back up a little bit here. We have Bill says, I'm packing a big RA order, had to hit the Kohl's 50% off clearance sale. Yeah, sometimes that stuff moves quick too. So there's not a massive supply for some of that stuff. So if you are finding Nike products on that clearance sale, if you get it quick, it's going to sell out, and then there's not an unlimited supply there. That's another big aspect, right, of finding products that don't tank. Like how easy was it to find, or how much supply is there? If there's enough supply for 50 sellers to each buy 20 of them, then obviously you're not going to price could tank. But if you're finding it and they're sold out pretty quickly, should be helpful. How do you feel about manual sourcing? I like to manual source. I do it quite often, just because there's been a lot of sales running lately, and I kind of have an idea of what brands to look for. So I'm going on a site and I'm not just like blindly going through the sale. I'm looking at certain brands first, going through those products, seeing if any of them are cheap enough to look into. And then I'll spend some time exploring new brands and just looking at anything that's on discount, because sometimes sites are running like 60% off clearance and you just didn't even know this brand existed, and you found it, and only at 60% off is it profitable, but you're still finding it. So yeah, I only try to find products that I feel like I can get, bro, but I probably am not going through enough. I'm going to just study you. Yeah. I have some other live sourcing, kind of analyze how I'm looking through products. Definitely, I'm getting through them quickly. And I know I'm really breaking them down in the lives and stuff, but I do have some live sourcing on my channel as well. Eduardo, OA takes time to build and have a good understanding. True that, man. Yeah, we both know. Yeah, I spent a ton of time sourcing in the beginning when I first started, did not find any products. I was looking left and right, couldn't find anything. Eventually you find one, and then you start to build momentum and you start finding other products, and you send some in, you get the sales. It feels good. It kind of motivates you to keep doing that. And again, the more you look at this stuff, like I know Eduardo, he's getting through products a lot quicker now that he's spent a ton of time sourcing, learning how to source, learning how to look through products, learning what makes a product bad so he can skip over it. And that's just going to speed it up so much. So let's see, Bill, anytime you can snag 75% off Nike, I'm in. Got a lot of clothes there. Yeah, sometimes if you can get it at the right time, right? I'm looking at that sometimes and it's too late. Everything's out of stock, but sometimes you can find some good stuff. Find most of my sourcing through TA. Yeah, I don't use tactical arbitrage anymore. I used to, but I just haven't had much luck with it recently. So got rid of it. But let's look at this product. Let's get back to some sourcing here. So, all right, what are we looking at here? Is this the 90 capsules or the 180? If it's 180, we're looking pretty decent here. Oh, the 90 count. Okay. I was going to say this is a pretty solid price here, but not for the 90 count. That's like almost basically what you're buying it, what you're selling it for. So let's just keep looking. Maybe we'll find something here. Yeah, this is probably the Healthway. Oh, they're not really giving much of a discount here. It's like a 3% discount, but they're like the only ones selling it. So when that's the case, right, we're just going to scroll down a little bit and see if any stores here have it. Swanson, is that the same one here? 90, but still 17 bucks. Yeah, that's going to be tough. So I heard, let's see, 25. Yeah, no, I don't think we're going to get this. Let me just check. 180. They have the product, so it doesn't hurt to look into it. Life IRL, Vitamin Shop. That's not the same one. All right, just look at these couple things here. Discontinued. Okay, so it's also got old packaging too, which is interesting. Whatever, we're not going to get at this one. This storefront is not amazing. So at this point, I'm like already thinking like, let's look at a new storefront because maybe they found some good Nike listings, but they're not finding, good other listings. So I would just want to look in the automotive. I think automotive is really interesting because it's just not a talked about like category. And there is some really good finds that not a lot of people are finding, right? It's not like, for most people, it's not fun to look through this automotive stuff, but there are some really good leads. Like I'm finding my VA's finding leads in this category. And it's stuff like maybe I'm only going to sell 10 a month, but I'm making, $16 profit, and the price is not going to tank, nowhere close to tanking. So it doesn't hurt to look into that stuff. We got a motorcycle helmet. The price looks very inflated as of recently, but maybe the offer count's really low. So we're only at 13 offers. Max cost 45. The rank is decent in automotive, right? We don't want to get too high, like close to 100K, and automotive starts to get really slow moving. But let's look at this one just to see as an example here. We got the helmet. It is a variation listing, so that might deter us from wanting to buy this. But 100 sales total on the listing. Again, we were at 70 a while ago, and the offer count didn't change, and somehow it's up at 91. Looks like that DSG surplus is the only one getting the buy box, which is interesting. Let's look at the statistics here and see. Okay, so they're getting it a ton of the time. Do they have a bunch in stock or something? No, they don't. So it's really weird how they're getting the buy box so often at this super high price too, right? But at least nobody's getting it like super low, right? Like at the $70. So we don't have to worry too much about this thing tanking all the way to like 70 again. But let's just look at variations, make sure that this one actually sells. We're looking at H gloss. I guess we'll just look at the one that's the best one here. So we got high gloss white large. That's 10%. That's not a ton here. Ideally, we'd be selling this one, the Black XL, because it does have the most reviews. It sells the most. And when you have something that only sells 100 times a month, you want to be picking one that's a little bit faster mover. So what we can do here is just look at the data tab and see if some sellers are actually getting sales on this thing. Again, this one's kind of fluctuating between 91 and 80, but it's an FBM seller getting that low price. So if we do FBA, which it is a small oversized product, so might be a better option to FBM. We might have more margin there, but we do look at the data offers tab and we can see that 12 sales, someone sold 4, 4, 3. So, I mean, ideally we could probably sell 4 to 5 in a 30-day span, which not horrible, right? If we're going to make $20 each and you're going to sell, I mean, if we get our max cost here, if we're at like 40 or 39 bucks, 39.50 even, we're going to make 12 bucks. We sell 5 of those. I mean, it's like $65, $70 profit, but you do that 20 times, right? And there's, $1,400. So that's what we're looking for here. We're just going to stack the small wins and then keep them moving. So again, we got to find this for $40. That's going to be tough here. We're looking at Daytona helmets. So it's not Daytona, that's Daytona. All the Daytona helmets are pretty expensive. Wholesale 71. Yeah, I'm not seeing any that are even close to 40. So again, like I said, this storefront, I'm actually going to move on from it just because there's not a ton of good leads here. So but that's kind of the thing, right? We're just going to keep looking until we find a storefront that we like that sells products other than just Nike. And if it sells just Nike, probably going to move on. But this one has some other products. So we're going to take a look here, right? They have not a ton of listings, but maybe this is one that we might find some luck on. So we're going to start at the bottom, work our way up. Maybe they don't have a health and household anymore. Arts and crafts, interesting lead here. I'm not sure how they are able to sell this even profitably at all, but we'll move on to automotive here. So we see the price has dropped. It's a pretty cheap. It's like light bulbs. Going to move on from that. Look at tools. Answer some questions here. Let's see what we got here. Toxic gameplays. I'm going to call it now. Spend the rest of my day studying this. Hey, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Dee's asked, have the Inform Act issues been fixed for people? I have a glitch that's preventing me from filling out the form, and associates cannot figure out what's happening. Yeah, I had the issue too, or I still have the issue technically, where they're not verifying my phone number, even though it says it's verified when you click on the link. I did put a ticket in, and I talked to somebody on the phone. So maybe you want to contact seller assurance, your account health specialist, and they might be able to put a ticket in to look to fix the issue on your account. I know some people are still having the issue with like one or two items, or maybe even all of them. But I have that issue right now, and they're raising it to management, someone to look at it. So hopefully that gets mine approved, and finally get that stupid notification off my page, because yeah, it's not fun to see your account could be deactivated, even though I know it's not going to. All right. Cool. We got a little accessory kit, 21 buy box, not a ton of sellers. 70K rank in the tools and home improvement. That's not horrible. That could be, from my experience, maybe like 10 to 20 sales a month. But again, if you're making $6 and you got 15, 20 sales, that's pretty good money for each month if you can consistently do that. For me, this is just my opinion on the products that I'm finding. It seems to be a little bit easier of a replan on stuff like this, just because, again, you don't see the offer count go from like 10 to 60 when there's some kind of Nike, right? When a Nike sale runs, you're going to see that offer count go from a couple all the way up to 60 in like 2 weeks. You don't really see that often in some of these tools and automotive and these categories. So again, the listing sells 90 times a month, maybe more. We'll see. I mean, I like looking at the data tab on some of these because the rank doesn't always paint a full picture, but yeah, you can see like 100 sales. One seller sold 23 in a month. So that should tell you, right? Like, depending on the circumstances, right? I could sell potentially up to 20 times a month on this if I get the buy box often, if I'm in stock quite a bit, if I'm finding this just profitable enough. And look, it's not a bunch of crazy like wholesalers or anything like that. So we should be able to find this. This seller is getting, and we can look at the buy box statistics too, pretty evenly spread out, but this person's getting it often because they have a lot in stock. And guess what? It translates to sales, right? So they're getting, they sold 23, they sold 600 over time. If they're making $10 profit on that, I mean, sheesh, that's a good chunk of profit, $6,500 on one item. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for something like this that we can get 10 to 20 sales a month, even down as low as 5 if the ROI is good enough and the profits. But looking to get this for just under $10, little Dremel kit. Yeah, look at that. We already found the part, and it's $13. We're close, right? We're close. eBay looks like this is the right one. $14.53, $9.99, and we could use a gift card. Only time I'm buying from eBay is if the seller is a really good seller, right? Tons of positive feedback. They have some in stock. It says they only have 6 available. They also run discount. So if you put 4 in your cart, we're getting it for $7.99. What do you know? $7.99. And again, you got to do your research on the eBay stuff. Condition is new. Ideally, they have some of their own photos on here, not just the manufacturer, whatever stock photos. But look for what the sell, right? It's like new, brand new, unopened packaging. Sometimes they'll put some good information in there in the description, and then just look at their storefront too, right? Like they sold 56,000 items, and they have a 99.7% positive feedback. So my guess is that they're going to ship everything. You're not going to have issues. See if they have a return policy, right? It's free shipping. So, I mean, this is $7.99. We're getting this for, like I said, $7.99. We're going to make almost $5, 60% ROI. It's really good. We have a lot of room to go down here, but we don't think the price is going to drop all that much. I mean, we're at the lowest price we've seen, but it's been such a steady decline, and the offer count's gone up a little bit. But again, we buy 6 of these, sell them for $5 profit. There's $30, and maybe we can find more of these, right? This is like one of the first ones we clicked on here. So Home Depot, this is a 9-piece. I think it's a 6-piece. We just got to get that number in there. If you are looking at specific like manufacturer part numbers and stuff, you can put the actual part number in quotes. Like if you're looking at Milwaukee tools and stuff, a lot of times you'll have this like long part number, and if you put it in quotes, it only puts searches that have that exact thing in the quotes in the that show up in the search. So like this one would show up, this one would show up, this one would not because it doesn't show it in the title. So we can try that. See, it's only the 1453, everything that's got it in the title or at least something similar. So that's what we're looking for. AliExpress, avoiding that. Not sure why this one's so expensive. Bigamart, haven't heard of that. 1361, but what we can do is on some of these sites that you don't know, right? We want to trust pilot things, make sure that it's a legitimate site. But a lot of times those odd sites will have 15, 20% off coupons pretty often. So you might look out with some of that stuff. And again, we're looking for that 1453 Dremel kit. Here's the kit that we saw, but it's too expensive. Yeah, that eBay listing might be the one we have here. Again, I'm not like super thrilled to buy from eBay unless it's a really like trustworthy seller. Again, we can buy more than like a couple. We don't want to buy 2 of them and then send them in. I mean, you're not going to learn much. You sell those 2 and then what? You can't rebuy them. You can't replenish anything like that. So definitely want to make sure you're getting it from a good site. But this one's 56. I was hoping maybe it would be like a multi-pack or something because $56 for this pit. This is like exactly what we're looking at. How can we buy the, how are they selling this for 56 when we can buy it on like in eBay brand new for 10 bucks? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Or even this site. See right here, 12% off if we spend $1,000. Now that's quite a bit to spend, but maybe we can look at this site for other products too, right? We can do some manual sourcing on this. They have a lot of the brands that you might find on on eBay or on Amazon, sorry. So it doesn't hurt to look, but 1361, 12% of that, 0.88, and we're looking at 1197. So it still doesn't quite get us to the price, but if we're finding this, if we use the eBay lead, right? I mean, that's 60% ROI. And we don't expect this to go all the way down. Our break-even price, 15 bucks. This product has never been even close to 15. So we don't have to worry about like a giant tank when you buy it, which is kind of nice, right? It kind of eases your nerves on like, shoot, I need this to sell. It's probably going to tank. Like we don't worry about that on a product like this. So let's keep moving. Let's keep looking. I like that lead. Let's hopefully find more stuff like that. And again, for those of you that feel like, oh, I'm not going to find anything in these categories here, we find a lead that is decent, right? And maybe we that $13 or $12 is the best we can do. Maybe we start reverse sourcing off of this lead now, right? We see there was still like what 10, 13 sellers on this listing. How many we got here? We have 16 sellers. So let's go look at all of their storefronts, right? Because chances are a lot of these sellers probably only have, probably don't have just all Nike and then a couple other mixed products. They're probably going to have more of these types of products. So that Giganet, they were, getting a good amount of sales here. So maybe see, look, they have all tools, home and kitchen, industrial, patio. Maybe that's the kind of storefront you want to look at. You didn't even know, maybe find some brands you didn't even know existed that you could sell here. So yeah, like that just puts you in front of so many new products you never knew. If you find a brand that works good, write the brand name down, right? And then maybe you come across a storefront that has a bunch of their brand products. Look at all those products from the brand, and then you might come across 3 out of the 50 leads you find from that brand are actually worth buying. So all different ways you can use to find products. Learning a lot right now, man. You can always reach out to the seller with a proposal. Not sure what that's pertaining to, but yeah. Hopefully you guys are getting some out of this. So again, we'll look at the storefront. Why not? We'll start at the bottom, patio, lawn, and garden. Let's see, they got a couple here listed. And again, we're not, some of these might be just horrible. Like these ranks are horrible. I'm not looking at those. So we're just going to look for the products that still fit our criteria. We're not changing things just because, just because we're looking at different categories. Something that's like a 25, 30K rank that looks decent, but the max cost, not quite there. We would probably want to, small and light, sell the small and light. But again, when it's not even a positive price for the max cost, that's going to make it tough. Amazon's on it. This one's interesting. Price is really flat, though. Again, it's going to be such a small price here, so we're going to move on. Home and kitchen, that tools and home improvement is probably the category we're going to definitely have the most luck here. So we'll take a look at that. All right, so Amazon seems to be on that Makita brand. I've seen that a couple times, but that's mostly what they have in stock. So maybe this storefront isn't the best one to look at, but you never know. We'll glance through and see. This might be a wholesaler because man, they're finding everything that's super cheap. So my guess is that they're getting it for like $1, and with small and light, they're going to be able to find it for that's still profitable. So that is a good sign for me to skip this product skip this storefront and go look at a different one. So let's see. We'll just pick one of these, even though they don't have a ton of reviews here. We'll still look at them just because. And hey, you can see on this product, some people got 20 or 30 in stock. This person 135. So that shows you that these people are confident this thing sells anywhere from 10 to 30 times a month. So if you can be one of those sellers that sell this product $6 profit, 30 times a month, or $5 profit for 30 times a month, that is a pretty good product to have in your storefront. You get 10 of those and now you got a pretty profitable store. Okay, so we have a product here. We're looking at steel, some chainsaw chain, $16, pretty good rank, not a ton of sellers. Let's open it up and take a look. Probably going to go for another 5 minutes or so. Just to look through a few more products, get some actual sourcing done for this video, and then I'll wrap it up. So if you guys got any other questions about the way I'm sourcing or, any questions about Amazon in general, just drop them down below. I'd be happy to answer. So again, this one says it sells more than 65 times a month, 26K rank. Again, there's only 10 sellers in the listing. We don't know if every one of them is actually listed competitively. Looks like maybe the top 6 or 7 are. So again, that means that we could get 10 sales a month on this listing. And most people are going to write that off, right? So, but if we're going to make, $10 profit, well, or even $7 or $8 profit, and we can sell 10 of them, again, we're going to stack the small wins and we're going to just keep pushing, keep building momentum. That's what I like to say. So $32. I mean, this price is super steady. Let's hope we can get it for $16. It is. Okay, 20-inch chainsaw. I guess we'll just take a look here. Again, if we have like a manufacturing part number or some kind of like ID number, maybe you want to put that in quotes. It will search the products with that exact number on it. So this looks like it might be the same product, but it's hard to tell. Blaines, we got this one. Does not look like the same. Yeah, this one just might be such an odd product that we aren't able to find it. Again, we want that 20-inch. And sometimes when it does that, I like to just go 20-inch. And maybe that modifies the listing a little bit here. And there we go. Is that the same one? Does not look like it. 12-inch. Okay, so again, we want the 20-inch. Here's a 10-pack. That's interesting. I don't think this is the exact product either, but a 10-pack would put us at like a $20, $21 buy cost. So that's interesting. I need some water here. Appreciate most of you guys sticking around for so long. Again, I'm going to go for about 5 more minutes, and then hopefully we can find maybe 1 or 2 more products. Yeah, this one's going to be tough to find. Again, we need it for like $16. That's going to be really hard to find unless we can get it. Yeah, everywhere else is selling this product like super expensive. So actually Amazon is like the cheapest, which is not good for us. So we are going to move on. Okay, let's look at that one. It's too cheap. Here's like a 2-pack of that. So not going to find that. Let's see here. A health and household product. That looks like a wholesale price. Here's some cutting discs. Yeah, why not? Let's look into it. 10K rank. That's pretty solid. When you really source, how long do you spend on each ASIN? I mean, I can decide if a product's bad in the first like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Normally when I'm like looking, like let's look at this storefront that has a lot of products like the Nike. I'm like looking, all right, nope, looks decent. Maybe I'd look into it. Price looks flat. Oh, yeah, I'll look into $8 too cheap for shorts. 16, probably not going to get that price. 22 for a backpack might be a little too cheap. Like I'm going through, probably like 20 products a minute, maybe. I'm spending, maybe not that many, at least 10 products a minute. So you get through it pretty quick. And once you source the same categories often, you're going to start noticing the same products. And if you see a pair of Nike shorts that you've seen on 10 other sites and you know that the cheapest you're ever going to find it is like $18 and the max cost is sitting at like $9, there's no chance you're going to get it for 9 unless there's some glitch that's making that max cost at 9 and really the max cost is higher. There's no point in looking into something like that because you're not going to find it. So you can spend 30 seconds to a minute looking into that product, realizing you're not going to find it that cheap, but you could have gone through 3 or 4 more products just by not going into that product. So, that's kind of it takes a lot of practice to like be able to do that. And you got to see those products over and over again. Otherwise, you're not going to see those, you're not going to know like how well things sell. Like this max cost for these products, I don't know what this is, right? I don't know like what chainsaw blades are selling for, stuff like that. But like I've gone through so many Nike listings, I can tell you like almost every one of these how if this is too cheap or not. Like backpack or duffel bags for 17, that's gonna be tough. Soccer balls for 32, that could be reasonable. Backpack for 26, that's tough. Beanies wouldn't buy in the summertime. Again, joggers for 40, that's pretty cheap. So like you just see these things over and over and over again. And eventually you start to understand like, okay, normally like even on a discount, I could find this sweatshirt for, $50 or $40. And then you really get a sense of, what products are really easy to skip over. So it takes time, it really does. But again, let's look at, what am I on here? Okay, I got these discs, $4 max cost, not going to be easy. It's like the rank just showed up recently, but it's selling pretty quick. 10K rank in industrial, that's going to still sell a decent amount. 72 is not crazy amount, but let's just see if we can even find this. What do I use for tax? I have 0 for my tax calculation just because I'm sending it to a prep center, but my prep fee is $1.55. So I'm always calculating with $1.55 in there. So most small and light products are not going to be good for me, at least not looking in this format. If I do want to look for small and light specifically, I'm going to take out the prep fee and I'm just going to look at the tax, or I'm going to add tax and ship it to my house, right? But I'm not looking for that often because again, I don't really want to do the extra work of prepping myself. That's the reason I have the prep center. If you outsource, who would you recommend? I mean, you can look at just Google sales tax-free states. There's only like 4 or 5 of them. One of them is Alaska. So there's really only like 4, stateside ones you want to look for. And then just start, Google that state, Amazon FBA prep centers, and then you'll find a list of 30 of them on Google, and then go into their website, message them, set up a meeting, right? Zoom call with them, whatever it is, ask them questions about, if you're prepping the products, what you're looking for when you're prepping them, right? Are they taking the stickers off? Are they putting a poly bag on the clothing items that you want them to? Are they using Inventory Lab, right? Or if you use Inventory Lab, what do you use for tax? Income tax. Not sure what you mean by income tax. If we're talking, I mean, like my own tax bracket, I'm not sure what you mean. I'm like, for my cost price, I'm not, adding like my state is like 5.5% sales tax. I'm not adding that in here because obviously I'm sending it to Montana, which is sales tax free. But again, you can find prep centers pretty easily. The nice thing about prep centers is that they want to work with you as much as you want to work with them. So, that's the more Amazon clients they have, the more money they're going to make, and then you want to send them as much stuff as possible. So, that's the goal. So, all right, let's just quick see if we can even get this for $4. What are we even looking at here? We're looking at this diameter, but we're also looking at a pack of 10. So we need to find a pack of 10. This looks like a pack of 10 for $21. That's going to be tough here. If this is, we want that X lock. Yeah, we want the X lock. So Let's see here. Yeah, I think that one's gonna be tough to find here. That 10 pack, unless it comes in a 10 pack. Um, okay, $5. Outlet Bosch outlet. Is this a 10 pack? Would be nice if it is. 10 pieces, $5. We're getting close, right? All right, look at that. Okay, so we found it's on sale, but we would need like a 10% catch-all, or we need something that gives us like an extra $5. So maybe on the outlet they're running some kind of sale. If we can get this for a little bit cheaper, right? The $5 isn't quite there for us. I think we're only going to make like $2 profit. Yeah, $2, 40%. Not horrible, but again, we're looking for a little bit more than that. But if you can find something, and again, when you're only putting a $5 item in your cart, they might charge shipping on something like this, and they might have, you know, you need to put $50 worth of stuff in your cart. Buying 10 of these would do that to get you free shipping, but yeah, stuff like that. We're just looking for hopefully like a site like this, right? If you did find it, it's 37% off. Plus, maybe we get another 10% to get us a little bit closer to like if we're getting it for like 425, close to $3, 65% ROI. Like that's decent. But anyway, I think that's all I got for my sourcing today. My voice is starting to go, so just wondering if I should outsource the accounting or just use a tool like QuickBooks. I mean, I outsource. I use Bench accounting, but they're not amazing. I mean, they're very slow to get me my numbers. So I basically rely on like Seller Board to like know what my profits are real time. But QuickBooks is definitely like if you're just like staying consistent on it and trying to reconcile and matching, categorizing your stuff, then it's going to definitely you're gonna make it easier on yourself to do it yourself. But definitely like put a focus on the books, make sure they're all set up correctly. Um, just for tax season, you want that to be. So let's stop share here. All right. If you guys got any last minute questions, see you later, Eduardo. Thanks for joining. Yeah, any last minute questions, throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm gonna hop off here. I'll wait maybe a few seconds here to see if any last minute questions come through. But thanks for hanging out. Got a lot of good questions. Did some great sourcing. Did find a product or two. So that's good to see, especially when we've been sourcing for an hour, right? Probably would have got through double the products if I wasn't explaining everything. Charlie, appreciate you being here, man. Glad I was able to provide some value. But all right, I'm gonna hop off. I'll probably go live maybe later in the week with some other sellers, or otherwise just next week. Maybe I'll do another live sourcing. It's kind of fun to chat with you guys and do some live sourcing at the same time. So that's the goal. I'll see you guys later.